Oh, good morning. Good morning. I was miles away there. Good morning. Welcome to day 18 of Mindset Mornings. So we are still continuing with our Rise and Build challenge. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Fiona. Welcome. I hope you are doing the challenge. I don't know, because obviously I'm doing it online, so I don't know if you're actually doing the challenge, but I hope you are doing the challenge. If you're not doing the challenge, then definitely do it once it's complete. Do it with people. It will be so much better to do it with people, to hold you accountable, especially if you want to build something. So I hope you're enjoying the challenge. I hope you are getting something out of the challenge. It is causing you to think about what you are doing. So today is day 18, and today I want to talk about building your blueprint. Because whatever you are going to go out and do, there is a blueprint to it. Whenever God called anybody, there was a blueprint. The ones that were called to build, like Joseph. Joseph had a blueprint for Pharaoh, and that is why Pharaoh said, you are going to be the ruler, because there was a blueprint. Moses, there was a blueprint to build the ark. Good morning, Sister Lillian. There was a blueprint. There was a blueprint to build the tabernacle. There was a blueprint to build the temple. There was a blueprint. There is always a blueprint. When it is God, God will give you the blueprint. But you've got to know what needs to be in it. You have to know. And I could not begin this Arise and Build challenge with the blueprint. I could not begin a Rise and Build challenge with strategy and all of these things, because if you don't have the foundations, it just won't make any sense. So today we're going to be building the blueprint, building your blueprint. What goes in your blueprint? Whatever you are going to go out and do. Yes, Noah, absolutely. To build the ark, there was a blueprint. There is a blueprint. And when you begin, that's why we began with our relationship with God. When you spend time with God, and you ask God the right questions, He will begin to reveal your blueprint. He will begin. Good morning, Sister Serene. He will begin to reveal your blueprint when you ask Him the right questions. So today we're going to go into the 5 things that the foundational 5 things you need for your blueprint. If you're building anything, whether it's a business, a ministry, going into politics, whatever it is, you need this blueprint. But before I begin, I want us to really look at life and look at the world. If you look at it, I think I was talking about this yesterday about, I've heard people say, I want financial freedom, or I want to make impact. But what's the blueprint for you making impact? What's the blueprint? Oh, I want to help women. What's the blueprint to helping these women? What's the blueprint that you have that is going to get you financial freedom? Just saying I want financial freedom is not going to get you financial freedom. You need a blueprint. Whatever you are going to do, there needs to be a blueprint. You want success. That's fantastic. What does success look like? What does it look like? And so, if you look around everywhere today, especially in churches, we're praying hard, we're working hard. I have been there. We're networking, we're hoping hard, we're doing all of these things. But I remember when I was beginning, did I know what I was trying to build? I just followed the world and be like, yep, I want financial freedom. I want to be successful. But in what was the blueprint? And so if you just think about anybody that's ever built a house, or someone that's built a house, there is a blueprint. The architect is the one that creates the blueprint. You cannot just go to a builder and say, you know what, I want to build a house. The builder will ask you, how many rooms? How many floors? what's this, what that, what kind of heating, what kind of this, what kind of that. But yet, in our own lives, we have no blueprint. We don't have anything. We are as vague as anything. You cannot be vague. And I'm hoping that from this, you will begin to construct, you will begin to put together, you will begin to have clarity, that there will be no more vagueness about where you are going in your life, about what you are doing. There'll be no more, my iPad keeps coming off. There'll be no more vagueness, you know, and it burdens me when I see people in lack, or I see people suffering. And it's not because God has not given us the opportunity. It really is lack of clarity. Because how can you take people somewhere, or how can you offer a service when you yourself don't have a clear understanding of what you are offering, who you're offering it to, why you are offering it? You just think to yourself, oh, let me just do an event. That sounds like a great idea, but there's no real blueprint to it. There's no real thinking to it. And even worse is when you have multiple options, when you are a multi-hyphenate, when you are somebody that, you know, you have lots of ideas, you can do many things, and having lots of options and opportunities with no blueprint is why many people, I had a coaching session with someone yesterday, and she had so many ideas, so many things that she can do. She's being called from pillar to post. But one thing she realizes is that she has no blueprint. She has no way of bringing everything together, marrying everything together, and having a true focus. She's being called everywhere, but she has no blueprint. That's literally why she's coming to me. Because your blueprint will eliminate distraction. Your blueprint will create focus. Your blueprint will help you distinguish between what is important and what is available. Let me know in the comments if you have a blueprint. If you have a plan, you're working with your plan. You have a blueprint of what you're doing, how you're doing it, who you're doing it for. Who has a blueprint? Because when you build, you either build by design or you build by default. Hoping, and when you build by default, you are hoping that you are going to reach somewhere. Sister Lillian has a blueprint. Excellent. So what I'm going to go through today, you can look at your blueprint and see if there's anything missing or you're doing really well. Because the blueprint will let you know, it will help you to measure. It will help you to measure if you're on course and things like that. Who else has a blueprint? If you don't, it's fine. If you don't, this is going to really help you today, because even having a blueprint for your life, because if you don't design your life, life will design it for you. Having a blueprint for your life, having an idea of what you want to do, where you want to be, having a blueprint for your life. Otherwise, you're just waking up, going to work, hoping that you're going to reach somewhere. If you hope that you're going to reach somewhere, that means, I remember, what is it in Dorothy, the Wizard of Oz? Is it the Wizard of Oz? Is it Dorothy? The one with the cat, the yellow brick road. And the cat said to her, where do you want to go? Because I think she said she was lost. And she said, and he said, where do you want to go? And she said, I think she said, like, she doesn't mind, or it doesn't matter. Then he said, any road will do. And there was a principle in that. If you don't know where you want to go, it doesn't matter. Life will take you wherever, and you will end up somewhere. You're in your 40s, you will end up somewhere. In your 50s, you will end up somewhere. And then you will look back and say, but I didn't want to be here. But did you put together your blueprint? Did you design and construct your life based on you having a relationship with God? God directing your path? Wizard of Oz. directing your path. Like I'm telling you, when I speak, I'm telling you from experience. I never had a blueprint. I didn't know. It's just like whatever. I remember when I was getting a property, and it was like, where do you want to live? I don't mind. Where my boyfriend lives, I don't mind. I don't care. No fault. There was no fault in it. And that's how, and so when we say we want success, we want all of these things, what's the blueprint for the success? Why do you even want success? You want financial freedom. Who wants financial freedom? I want financial freedom. But do you know there's a process and there's a blueprint that you will have to follow to get financial freedom? Who thinks financial freedom is just going to happen? I don't want to live here. I want to live somewhere else. I want to be able to travel all around the world. I want to have this amount of money. Okay, if that's the case, how are you going to get there? You cannot say that you want to go to the Caribbean or you want to go to Africa. You have to, even the trip, you plan the trip. You have to know which airport you're going to. You have to know, how am I going to get to the airport? How much luggage do I need to take? How much luggage am I allowed to take? You have to know the destination that you're going to. You have to know where you're going to stay when you get to the destination. That is a blueprint for travel. So today is build your blueprint. You know, so there's 5, because I actually want to get through these 5, so I'm going to go into it. But I will say clarity is not a luxury. Clarity is our responsibility. We need clarity. We don't have a blueprint for our future. We will spend our life helping other people build theirs. You're supposed to serve, because in your serving you will find out more. But then from the serving, ask God, what is the blueprint? What am I supposed to be doing? So hopefully today, not hopefully, I know today will really help you in, if you do have a blueprint, in cementing your blueprint. If you don't have a blueprint, at least you can start building the foundations of a blueprint. Whatever I say today, use it for yourself, whether it's a blueprint for your life, which you need to have anyway, a blueprint for your family, a blueprint for whatever you are going to be doing, whether it's a business, a ministry, whatever it is. Use these as parameters to build your blueprint. So day 18, welcome. If you're just joining us, welcome to day 18, which is build your blueprint. Build your blueprint. And so to build your blueprint, I'm going to be talking about the 5 W's. The 5 W's, the who, the what, the why, the when, and the where. Those will be your headings. If you're making notes, those will be your headings. Simon Sinek wrote a great book, Start With Why. Start With Why. It was a worldwide phenomenon. But we are not starting with why. We're not starting with why. His framework is excellent for marketing, for leadership, but for us that are kingdom builders, the first question that we are asking in regards to our blueprint is who? You know, because why can become self-focused. It can become about us. But when we think about the who, it forces us to think beyond ourselves. It forces us. So the first marker or the first page of your blueprint is going to be the who. Because you have to understand, kingdom principle says value is always being created for people. Whenever you have coaching with me, whenever you speak to me, I will always talk about the who. I will always stretch you beyond yourself. Good morning, Stasia. Your business exists because of people, not because I just love to do this and I just love to do that, and you know, I want people to appreciate what I do. It is too self-focused. A school exists because of the students. Governments exist. Why? Because of people. Churches exist because of people. If there was no people, there's no church. How many churches closed down? Why? Because there's no people. Every book, every product, every service, every ministry, every movement, every organization exists. Why? Because they are solving a problem for people. So the world says, what do I want? But as a kingdomite, as a kingdom reformer, as a strategist, as a builder, as a kingdom business person, as just somebody in the kingdom, you ask, it's a different question. You ask, who am I here to serve? Who am I here to serve? Because we cannot create a blueprint until we know what the blueprint is designed to accomplish. Every blueprint, the blueprint that you are going to create or the one that you already have, I want you to look at it. Is it designed with somebody in mind? Because we cannot build a house without first considering who's going to live in it. You have a family of 6. You cannot build a house, a 1-bedroom maisonette. It won't work for a family of 6. So you have to consider who is going to be living in the house that I'm going to be building. You don't create a product without considering who will use it. You see, you may create a product because you think it's great, because you want to build it, because you want to create it, you want to do it. But you must, this is just course correction here. Consider who is going to be using it. Who is going to be using it? You don't start a business without first considering who is it going to serve. And the same is true for your life. One of the biggest mistakes we can make is being obsessed with what we want to build before identifying who we are building it for, who will you serve. The world will tell you, find your passion, but in the kingdom, we learn to who are the people? Who are the people that God has assigned me to? Who are those people? Who are the people? Because when you know the people, then you can that's why I say when somebody is starting a business and stuff, I always say, I always talk about the people. Who are the people? Wherever the people not everybody is going to like you. And that's how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be everywhere. When you see people, they say, who is your business for? They say everybody. It cannot be everybody. There is men, women, and children. Unless you're serving animals. There's men, women, and children. And so if you're serving women, that's fine if you're serving women. But you got to know which woman. I remember somebody was starting a business. And I said, your business is not for me. It doesn't speak to me. Yes, I'm a woman. But it doesn't speak to me. You have to know what type of woman. Is it a businesswoman? Is it a single mother? Is it a working woman? Is it I don't know, a Christian woman? A non-Christian woman? An employed woman? Who is it? Is she under 30, over 40, over 50? You got to know who. Who are you serving? Who are you building for? Who are you building for? So, the who. Who am I building for? Your assignment doesn't begin with the product, the business, the title, the qualification on the platform. It begins with people. The greatest businesses in the world are simply solution providers to people's problems. The greatest leaders are people who solve problems for others. The greatest movements began when somebody had a deep burden for people and the challenges that they faced. This is where we can get stuck when we're trying to be everything to everyone. So the clearer you become about who you serve, the clearer your decisions will be, your message will become clearer, your strategy will become clearer, your opportunities will become clearer, and your blueprint will become clearer. So I'm going to show you, this is just foundation. Can I just give a caveat? What I'm giving you is just foundational stuff. This is not the be all and end all. I can only do so much in Mindset Mornings in 1 hour a day. And every day I want to be able to bring you something that is going to help you. But it's not everything. So I just want to say that we are just doing the foundational stuff. So how to find your who. How to find your who. Number one, the first piece of your blueprint is you're not called to everybody. You're not called to everybody. Everybody is too broad. Everybody is too vague. Everybody is actually impossible. The moment you speak to everybody, this is very, very important. The moment you speak to everybody, you weaken your voice. You weaken your voice. Because when you know the who, you then can speak the language of the who. Business women hear a language. Governmental women hear a language. People that are single mothers will hear a language. Mothers and non-mothers will hear a different language. So you will dilute your message and you will lose your focus if you are trying to speak to everybody. You have to understand the simple principle. Specificity creates influence. You will be more influential when you know who you are speaking to than if you try to speak to everybody. So you cannot have a solution until you identify who has the problem. And then your product, your service, your ministry, your event, whatever it is, can then serve and solve the problem for the who. You don't create an event or a product or a service because you just want to do it because it's your passion. It has more weight when you create it for the who. Yeah? So you can't build a school without knowing who the students are. What kind of students are coming to your school? Is it international students? What are they coming to study? You can't build a business without knowing who your customers are. So it's not the question as, what do I call us? Kingdomites is not who can I reach. The question is, who am I unwilling to ignore? Because when you know who you are unwilling to ignore, you will know the ones that you need to ignore. You will know the ones, this is not for you and it is okay. This is not for you. I'm not making it for you. There is somebody out there that has something for you. That's why I can't understand the competition. There is 8 billion people in the world. I think there is 6 million just in the UK alone. There is more than enough for everybody. But the reason why your business or your ministry may not be growing and flourishing and thriving, there's a myriad of reasons. But one of them could be you haven't really specified the who. You haven't specified who you are unwilling to ignore and who you need to ignore. So how do you know this? Who are the people whose challenges move you? Whose challenges move you? Because I am called to men and women. But not everybody's challenge moves me. It doesn't, and it's not bad. It's just that it doesn't. My burden is for people that want to build, people that are gonna go into the spheres of influence. That's my burden, to ensure that they are equipped, they discover, they are discipled, and they are deployed. That is, as my friend Action Jackson says, he calls me the leader to leaders. That's who my burden is for. That's who my burden is for. Now I am clear about who my burden is for. Everything I do comes from there. When I do an event, it's for them. When I create a resource, it's for them. Whatever I do now, when I'm speaking to them. When I didn't know, I was trying to figure out, who am I speaking to? And I was creating things, not thinking about the who. I was thinking about, well, I want to do this. I think people should know this. I think people should know that. But I didn't know the who. And what I'm giving you is a sequence. I'm not giving it to you randomly. We are starting with the who. We are not starting with the why. We are starting with the who. Who are the people whose challenges move you? Baking a cake for people does not move me. Cooking for people does not move me. All of the vicissitudes that women go through does not move me. All of the vicissitudes that men go through does not move me. It doesn't move me. It doesn't challenge me. It doesn't, those challenges that people go through, it doesn't move me. But somebody that I see the seeds of potential, somebody that I see is going to affect change. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Who are the people whose success excites you? Not even just the success, because you could be a cake baker and you could want to bake the best cakes. Why? You're not just baking cakes. The cakes are for moments. The cakes are for moments. You want to bake a cake because the cake is for a birthday or a celebration, or, you know, people are going to enjoy it. You're creating moments. You could be a fashion designer. When people wear your clothes, they feel amazing. There is something, and you want that. That excites you. When they eat your food, when they wear your clothes, when they encounter you. Who is that person that excites you? Who are that body of people that excites you? Who are the people you find yourself constantly thinking about? Who are you constantly thinking about? Because your future is often hidden in the people that you cannot stop caring about. Number 2, pay attention to what frustrates you. Most people complain about problems. As Kingdonites, pay attention to them. Pay attention to problems. I remember listening to Sir Richard Branson, him talking about this. A lot of people miss opportunities. Why? Because they're too busy complaining. Problems are our food. We need to see the problems. We don't complain about them. Pay attention to them. Because they are clues. They are clues. They are clues for you. The average person will see a problem and walk away. I want you to be able to see a problem and begin asking, how do we fix this? What frustrates you may be revealing what you were designed to change. You see, we have a divine DNA. We have a divine design. And that design has equipped you to be able to solve the problems of this world. There are particular problems that you have been designed based on the way you think, based on what you do, based on where you were born, all of these things. So pay attention. Pay attention. What frustrates you? When you see people and living below their potential, does that frustrate you? Does leadership or poor leadership, does that frustrate you? Does people financially struggling frustrate you? Does brokenness in families, abuse, mediocrity, what is it that frustrates you? Nobody notices the same problems. What you see, pay attention to that. That's why I don't believe in following trends. I don't believe in this is what's going to make you money. I don't believe in that. I believe in, I really, really believe in notice, pay attention to these things. Pay attention. Because what's the burden? Because there is a burden that comes with that. Nehemiah had a burden. The walls, I don't know how long the walls were down for. But nobody else had a burden for it. Nobody else did anything about it. It was Nehemiah. When he heard, he couldn't stop thinking about it. He prayed about it. He fasted about it. He cried about it. That tells you the level. Number 3, look for the patterns in your life. Ignore the evidence. Don't ignore the evidence that has been showing up for years. If you pay attention to your life, what you are supposed to be building, not what is trending, not what is going to make you money, what you are supposed to be building There is evidence throughout your life. Probably maybe from school, maybe from when it's been showing up for years, but you may not have paid attention to it. Look for the patterns in your life. What I want to do is to give you revelation, to give you knowledge that will really circumvent time. It will really curtail the time, the wasted time, the frustrating times. I want to help you here. I want to help you circumvent time. Pay attention to the patterns. What conversations do you consistently get brought into? What advice do people repeatedly seek from you? What problems have you overcome that people are still struggling with? What themes keep appearing throughout your life? Pay attention to the patterns. Pay attention to the repetitions. Pay attention. Good morning. Good morning, Minister Williams. Lovely to have you. Pay attention to the clues, because your blueprint is not hidden. I can tell you that. It's not hidden. You know what they call hiding in plain sight. It's hiding in plain sight. It is there in front of you. Let me tell you, where I am now and what I see now, it has always been there. It has always been there. But I was always looking for the biggest thing, the best thing. Good morning, Mother Antoinette. It was hiding in plain sight. If I paid attention to, it's so funny because I'm thinking about relationships that I've had in my early years, and the way I am now, you know, when I meet somebody and I can see something in them, that is how I've always been. It's how I've always been. And that's why I pay a lot of attention to my children, a lot of attention, to how they are. And trust me, I'm learning. I am really learning to not, squash who they are, because I can see something in them. Pay attention. And I don't want them to get to 40 and be like, my mom stopped me from doing this and stopped me from doing that, because I didn't have foresight and vision to be able to see. This is actually, if I pay attention to how the children are growing from ages, whatever, there is a pattern. There is a pattern. There is a pattern to your life. There is a pattern to the people that gravitate to you. There is a pattern to the problems that you notice and the problems that you ignore. There is a pattern. So those three things are what will help you to reveal your who. And once you know your who, good morning. Once you know your who, every part of the blueprint begins to come into focus. But you need a blueprint. You need whatever you are going to build, whether it is your life, you need a blueprint. Whether it's your family, you need a blueprint. Whether it's a church, you need a blueprint. Whether it's your ministry, it needs a blueprint. Whether it's a business, whatever it is, it needs a blueprint. And the first blueprint, we are not starting with why, we are starting with who. Who has God given you a burden for? Because I can tell you that you are equipped for the who. I am not equipped for everyone. If you know my personality, people that know me, I don't do softly. There are some people that I listen to and their voices are so soft. They're so nurturing. They're so motherly. And I marvel but I don't want to be like that, because my design is for a particular people. It's for particular people. If I was too softly, that's why please don't look at how anybody else is. Their divine design is for their who, for the people that they are assigned to. So don't discount yourself. Don't discount, oh, I wish I was more like this, or I wish I was more like that. The only caveat to that is if, for example, you have become silent because of somebody shut you down. That's different. I was saying to somebody at the weekend, somebody is saying that they're finding their voice. I said, because the enemy would have tried to silence you. Those that are supposed to have a voice, I can guarantee you, the enemy would have tried to silence you when you were a child. He would have tried to silence you when you were a child. And throughout the years, they would have brought people to silence you. Why? Because there is power in your voice. I remember getting a prophecy about 10 years ago about the power in my voice. I didn't understand what they were talking about, but they said there is power in your voice. Now I understand it. Now I can understand why the enemy would have wanted me to be silent, because of the people that are going to be set free, and the people that are going to occupy and go into the places because I opened my mouth. So the who. You are designed for your who. You are not designed for everybody. You are not designed for everybody. You are designed for somebody. And when you do it well, when you understand your who, you will impact so many more people. So many more. Don't be looking for everybody. Know your who. Who am I called to? Who? Your message will be so much clearer. Then we are moving to the what. Now we are moving to the what. We still haven't got to why yet. We're moving to the what. So the second part of your blueprint needs to have the what. The next question in your blueprint is what. So if you don't know the who, if you don't have a blueprint, if you have no idea what God is asking you to build, at least now you can go to God and say, Lord, who am I created for? Who have I been designed for? Who is it that you are sending me to? Who is it that I'm called to help? Who is it that my skills, my gifts, and my talents are for? Who is it? Who is it? Now you can go to God with the right question. Who is it? Now you can begin to see the patterns, the problems. Now we go to the what. The what. The world will tell you to start with your dreams. The kingdom says start with stewardship. The world says, what do you want? The kingdom says, what has been entrusted to you? This section took me a long time to put together because I kept defaulting back to what the world says. The what. And I said, this don't feel right. This is not God. This is not a kingdom principle. This took me a long time to put together. And then finally it came. The what is what has been entrusted to you. Not what do I want to do. Not what do I want to build. Not what do I fancy. Not what is my passion. What has been entrusted to me. The world will focus on what is missing. Kingdom focuses what is present, what is in my hand. Moses, what is in your hand? David, what is in your hand? The woman with the sons that were being sold, what is in your house? What has God already entrusted to you? You see, we're going out there looking for strategy, looking for this, looking for that, whilst neglecting what God has already given us. We're looking. And there is a saying, say, look again within. Look again within, because you already have it within you or around you. And so when you focus on all the money you don't have, when you focus on all the connections you don't have, when you focus on all the opportunities you don't have, when you focus on all the resources you don't have, all you are focused on is what is missing. And that's why you're going out there to fill a void. But what has God already given you? That's why gratitude is so important, because when you have gratitude, you begin to open up your mind to see more when you have gratitude. So increase begins with when you identify what is already present. When the widow needed provision, the prophet did not ask her what she lacked. He said, what do you have in your house? When Moses stood before God, God did not ask him, what do you need? He said, what do you have in your hand? With Jesus and feeding the 5,000. This is such a good principle, if I do say so myself. When the apostles came, when the disciples came to Jesus and said, there is all these people, they need feeding. We need to go to the next town. Jesus, can you send these people away? Let them go and get their food and come back. What did Jesus say to them? He said, we're not sending them away. I can't remember the question. I need to go back to the scripture. I can't remember the question that Jesus said to them. But whatever the question was, they came back with that child's, as I say, the little boy's lunch. But what the principle is, it began with what was available. What was available. And he sent them back to go and look at what is already here. It's such a deep principle. What is already in your hand? What has God already given you? So God, this is how we do it in the kingdom. The kingdom principle is God starts with what he has entrusted to you before he expands what he entrusts through you. God starts with what he has entrusted to you before he will expand what he entrusts through you. So the question is not what do I wish I had. The question is what has already been placed in my hand, because your what is hidden in your stewardship. You have been faithful with a little. The world doesn't talk about this. You have been faithful with a little. Now I will make you ruler over much. What is in your hand that you are stewarding? What is in your hand? Because that is what it is a clue to what's coming next. What is in your hand? Your skills, your experience, your knowledge, your relationships, your opportunities, your responsibilities, your gifts, your resources. What is already in your hand? Stop focusing on what you lack. Stop focusing on what you don't have. What has God already entrusted to you? Are you multiplying what God has already given you? Are you using what God has already given you? You know, you're praying for multiplication, but are you overlooking what has already been entrusted to you? You must begin to think differently about these things. You must begin to identify what is in my hand. What? So what is the second part of your blueprint? Take responsibility for it. Then you multiply it. Because everything that God has entrusted to you will come in a seed form. And because it comes in a seed form, you are supposed to plant it. And you are supposed to nurture it. You are supposed to cultivate it. And then, this is how it works in the kingdom. And then it will bear much fruit. That's how things increase in the kingdom. We can't manufacture the sowing and reaping process. We can't manufacture the nurturing and cultivating process. You see, the world would tell you don't need to do all that. What's all of that? You can set up a business in 3 days. In fact, I can set you up your business in 24 hours. But it's that kingdom. It's that kingdom. When you look through scripture, is that how God did things? Everything that God has entrusted into your hand right now has the potential for increase. But have you sowed it? Have you watered it? Yes. What is there? Have you sowed it? Relationships, those are seeds. Have you been watering those relationships? There is a lady in America. My pastor introduced me to her, I think 2014. I met her last year. So what is that? 11 years later, I met her. She took me around New York. I remember waking up one day from a dream, and God had said, oh, you're going to do something in New York. I was like, but I don't know anyone in New York. And then the Holy Spirit brought me back to her. 11 years later. 11, and now we're still working together. I'm coaching her. 12 years later. 12 years later, there are relationships that is in your hand, but you haven't nurtured them, you haven't cultivated them. But they have the potential. Those could be the gatekeepers for your next, for whatever it is, but you haven't nurtured them because you're so busy looking at what you don't have. What is in your hand right now? Who is in your hand right now? Because when you understand what has God entrusted to you, is people, it's access, all of these things. And so you could be serving right now. When I was on the board, the Violent Crime Prevention Board, that's how I met Gisla. Those of you that have met Gisla, that's how I met her. I met her on the board serving. It was a sacrifice to be on the board. We had to go to these meetings and all of this. I had to leave my children. It was a sacrifice. But little did I know that I was going to become friends with this powerhouse. Little did I know. So in your serving, what is in your hand? That's why if you're faithful with the little, then God can work through you. It is a different kingdom mindset. It is a completely different kingdom mindset. Completely different. So, what is in your hand? So, if you want to discover your what, you start with what is already in your hand. You don't start with what you wish you had. You don't start with, oh, I want to have what this person has. No way. You don't start with, oh, I hope to receive this someday, this pie in the sky nonsense. Kingdom thinkers, kingdom reformers, kingdom strategists, kingdom builders, you must think differently from the world. And I make no apology for it. I make no apology. The world will train you to focus on what you're missing. Why? Because they want you to buy from them. They want you to buy what is missing. But the kingdom trains you to identify, what do I have right now? So you can be praying for the next level while neglecting your current level. You're neglecting you're praying for your next level because you're focused on what you don't have and you want to go to your next level. But have you stewarded what's already in your hand right now? Have you stewarded at this level? At this level? Have you been faithful at this level? So you can be asking, there's many people that are asking for increase, but they're neglecting what is already being trusted to them. Yeah, they say to be an elder or to be a bishop, one of the requirements is to make sure that your house is taken care of. Your house is in order. Because if your own house is not in order, how can you take care of the house of God? It is a kingdom principle. It is a kingdom principle. How can I lead people if I can't lead myself? How can I tell people be disciplined if I cannot be disciplined myself? How can I tell people be consistent, but I cannot be consistent myself? How can I be asking for nations if I can't steward the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 people that God has given me now? Don't neglect. Because if you neglect what you have in your hand now, so I just believe the Holy Spirit is just turning us back to what do we have now? What have we neglected now? Because what you neglect, you can't multiply. What you neglect, you can't multiply. If the woman focused on her debt, and the widow with the oil, she was focused on her debt, because when she went to the man of God, she said, my husband is gone and I have this debt. But what did he do? He did a paradigm shift on that widow woman. He said, stop focusing on your debt. What do you have in your house? I'm not even going to speak to that. What do you have in your house? He focused on what she had, and it was the oil. And then from she knew what she had, he then told her, this is what's next. This is what you do. This is what you do. Moses, what was he focused on? I can't speak. I can't do this. And God said, you have a rod in your hand. The disciples were focused on the crowd. Jesus was focused on what he had in his hand. So God is going to direct you back to, what have I been entrusted with? So I want to ask you, what have you been overlooking? What have you been taking for granted? What skills have been entrusted to you? What knowledge has been entrusted to you? What experiences have been entrusted to you? What opportunities have been entrusted to you? Because you cannot multiply what you have not identified. And you cannot increase what you are ignoring. And so we can be asking God for more. And God is saying, have you used what I've even given you? Do you even know what I've given you? Do you even know where I've put you? but you think it's too small. You think it's not enough. So many people are looking for their future while overlooking the seed. God gives you seed. He don't give you the tree. He gives you seed. He gives you seed of a relationship that you must nurture. He gives you seed. So, the clue to your blueprint is hiding in what has already been placed in your hand. Number 2, what are you responsible for? So, you can be searching for purpose, and then, do you know the amount of people that I speak to? And I say, but you could do this, you could do, and they say they don't want the responsibility. Can you imagine? For me, I can't imagine a life where I'm going to stay where I am because I don't want responsibility. That means you can never have a business. You can never have a ministry because you don't want responsibility. Do you know life is responsibility? You have to be responsible for yourself, let alone anything else. And do you know why people don't do things? Because they want to avoid responsibility. The greatest clues to purpose is responsibility. The world will say, what do I want to do? And in the kingdom, it is what has been entrusted to my care. I remember there is a saying about there was somebody that had a farm. Somebody that had a garden, and it was beautiful. And somebody came to the garden and said, my gosh, why is this garden looks so good? And it was because the person had taken care of the garden. And I think the person said, oh, God has been good. And the person said, yeah, God has been good, but it was God that gave him the responsibility. And he took that responsibility and took care of what was in his hand. He took care of it. What are you being responsible for? Are you taking care of what God has already entrusted in your hand? You're looking for what you don't have. You're looking for more. But how can you have more if you don't take care of what has been entrusted to your care? Your purpose is not going to be found in what excites you. Purpose is revealed in what has been entrusted to you. What are you responsible for? Who are you responsible for? What has already been placed under your care? Your family, your children, your clients, your team. You may have 2 clients. Take care of them very well so that it will multiply. So they will go and tell others. That's how it will multiply. Take care. If you have 1 team member, take care of that team member. Take care of that team member. Your business, your craft, what God has entrusted to you. Don't neglect it. Take care of it. Your community, your church, take care of it. This is where so many people miss it. You're praying for a greater assignment while neglecting, what is my current assignment? What is my current assignment? You want greater influence, but you're neglecting, who am I already influencing? Is it my husband? Is it my wife? Is it my children? Is it my siblings? You're already influencing somebody. You want a bigger platform, but you already have a platform right now. So I'm telling you, God does not reward irresponsibility with greater responsibility. He ain't going to give you more if you can't take care of what you already have. It's a kingdom principle. This is not Patrice speaking. This is a kingdom principle. You have been faithful over a little, I will make you ruler over much. So the principle is whatever you think is small right now, take care of it. Take care of it. Take care of it. The clue to your blueprint is not in the distant future. It is hidden in what are you responsible for today, because your responsibility is leaving clues. What you take responsibility for, that's when your position will increase. So now, gosh, we've got 3 minutes. Wow. There's 5 points to this blueprint. There's 5 points. So we started with the who. We've gone to the what. We're now going to do the why. Then there is the where, and there is the when. The where and the when it will just have to be in the email. It will be in the email. So if you're not part of the challenge, then click the link so you can get the rest. You may not want to do the whole challenge. You may just want to know how to build your blueprint. That's fine. It will be out today, but you need to register. So the why. So now we know the who now, and we know what the what is. Now we can go to the why. Now, why does this matter to you? Why are you willing to build it? Why are you willing to give your time, your energy, your attention, your effort, and your years to this thing? This is where kingdom thinking. Oh, Sister Lillian, remember what my son said yesterday? Oh, Mummy, you go on for at least an hour and a half for 90 minutes. You don't finish. You finish by 8. This is where the kingdom thinking differs. This is where it differs, because the world will tell you find your passion. Find your passion. The kingdom will teach you identify your conviction, your burden, your burden. The world says, what do you love? Kingdom says, what moves you? The world says, follow your interests. The kingdom says, pay attention to what you can no longer ignore. Oh, if I do so, I feel like this is so good. This is so rich. I don't know about you, because the more... because people have things to do. As I said, it will be in the... I will send it out as an email. As I said, I can only give you foundation. This is foundation. Let me tell you. Let me plug the Kingdom Builders Academy. To get the full thing, you'll have to join the Kingdom Builders Academy. That's where you'll get the full thing. I can't give all of this in Mindset Mornings. Anyway, pay attention. Pay attention to what you can no longer ignore. That's what we see in Nehemiah. That's what we see. Everybody heard the report. Everybody knew the walls were broken. Everybody knew the gates were burned, and that Jerusalem was in ruins. But it was only Nehemiah that sat down and wept. He fasted. He prayed. He left his job. He left his job because he took responsibility. Everybody saw the problem. He was moved by the problem. This is such a kingdom key. It was more than a building project. It was for him, it was the reproach. It was the disgrace. It was the legacy of his fathers just in ruins. He could no longer tolerate. So your why, don't say why because, oh, I just like to bake cakes. I just like to make clothes. It's just my passion. I just love doing this. There has to be more to it. He could no longer tolerate. There has to be more to it. For me, the substance, because I don't know why I keep going to cake bakers. I don't know why. More substance to it than you just love making cakes. I remember I had a friend that had a shop that she baked cakes, and unfortunately the shop closed down because it had to be more than just baking cakes. There had to be more to it. She didn't know the who, she didn't know the what, and she didn't know the why. All she knew is that I love to bake cakes, so I'm just going to open up a shop to bake cakes. And that is not what's going to keep you in business. It's not. She tried, but it's not what's going to keep you in business. It's not what's going to keep you in business. So where is your why found? Your why is found. It's not always hidden in what excites you. It's really what disturbs you, what frustrates you, what provokes you. So if I think about her and the cake baking, it should have been more about the beauty, the excellence, the moments, the joy, with being part of a celebration, being part of something. When we go, why do we go for coffee and a cake? Why? Because it could be two women interacting, having that moment, and your cake is part of that moment. So I want you to think beyond passion and what excites you. It's not what's going to keep your business. There's so much more to it. There's so much more to it. So your why. So if I think about my friend, the chemist, we was to distill her why, is because she was the person that she was creating for, because she couldn't find clothes that really embodied who she was and expressed who she was. So she started creating them. And people love what she creates because it comes from real deep inside. When she sees poor clothing or clothing that is just generic, she can't stand it. There is a deeper why. What makes you say it shouldn't be this way? So, for example, a teacher, you may look at children leaving school without confidence and think it should not be this way. As an entrepreneur, you may see people struggling financially and you think it shouldn't be this way. As a coach, you may look at people drifting through life, building careers and neglecting themselves, settling for less, and you say it shouldn't be this way. You may look at life and see hardship and stress and pressure, and you decide, I want to create moments of joy, celebration, beauty, excellence. The assignment may be different, the build may be different, but the principle is the same. Everybody is seeing the same, but only some people are moved. What are you moved by? What moves you is what will reveal what you are supposed to build. Your why is the reason you refuse to leave something the way you found it. Because if you build anything based on passion, excite, there's going to come a time where you may have financial challenges, you may have health challenges, you may have challenges in your home, and you still have to get up. The business can't close, the ministry can't close. You're still going to have to get up. And it is going to be because of your why. If your why is not strong enough, you will give up and start something else. And so when you see serial people starting different things, it's because the why has not been strong enough. So your why is the conviction that keeps you building when all the excitement goes. When there's no more excitement, like my daughter, she loves starting businesses. And then when there's no more excitement, she moves on to the next one. We know she's entrepreneurial, but she hasn't found the one that really moves her. She hasn't found that yet. And I know she will. She's only 16. But it's that conviction. Passion will come and go. Motivation will come and go, but your conviction will remain. It is that conviction that will get you out of bed. It is the conviction that will enable you to be disciplined. It is the conviction that will move past motivation. Motivation, I can motivate you all day long, but that's not going to transform you. That is not going to keep you in your darkest hours. That is not going to keep you in the wilderness, is motivation. Those quiet seasons when nothing is happening. It is not going to be motivation. It is going to be, I'm going to keep moving. I have a deep conviction. So how to discover your why, and then I will definitely end. I'm just going to go through how to discover your why. If you can hang on, great. If you can't, God bless you. Have a blessed day. I will see you tomorrow. Don't miss tomorrow. I think I'm doing infrastructure, architecture, or systems or something. So don't miss tomorrow. If you have to leave, that's fine. So how to discover your why. Number one, what condition can you no longer tolerate? So Nehemiah, if we look at Nehemiah as our blueprint, he didn't begin with a plan. He didn't begin with a plan. Thank you, Sister Lillian. He didn't begin with a strategy. He never began with a blueprint. He began with, I can't accept this. I just cannot accept this. I cannot accept. What frustrates you, what grieves you, what continuously catches your attention, what makes you say this should not be happening. Because your why is hidden inside the conditions that you refuse to tolerate. That's why some people are in health, some people are in business, some people are in education, some people are in media. Number two, what moves you when others will walk past it? Everybody saw Jerusalem, only Nehemiah was moved. This is one of the greatest clues to your why. What do other people see that you cannot ignore? What conversations keep pulling at your heart? What situation stirs something inside of you? If you look at, for example, if we look at Nelson Mandela, how on earth could he sustain 20-something years, was it 27 years, imprisoned? Why? Because he had a deep conviction. And then to come out, and then after they put him in prison, now become president of the same country that put you in prison. That can only be a deep conviction. When we look at the greats, the ones that are that have legacy, that have even passed on, but their legacy is still living on. Why? Because they had a deep burden, they had a deep conviction, and they said, you know what, Lord, you have given this to me, I'm going to take responsibility for it. But if you just want to make money at the end of the month, then it's fleeting. Then you can do that. Then there is so much information out there that will help you do that. So much information out there. If you are self-focused, if you just want to build your empire, build your platform, be recognized, you could do that. There is enough people that will help you do that. You want to be influential, you want to make a name for yourself and all of these things. You can do that. There's enough information out there. And there's plenty of people that will take your money and help you do that. But what I'm talking about is building with a blueprint. Building with a blueprint that comes from heaven. Building with a blueprint that is going to have legacy, that is going to live beyond you. So your why is often revealed by what moves you when everybody else has become comfortable with it. Everybody else is comfortable with it, but for you, you can't tolerate it. So number 3, what are you willing to build even when it costs you? This is a big one, because this is the ultimate test. Because many people love ideas. I got this idea, I got that idea. Many people love opportunities. Many people love possibilities. But what are you willing to sacrifice for? You see, there is no 1, 2-step, 3-step to a business. Seriously. It is a hard slog. It really is not for everybody. It really isn't. You have to be willing to sacrifice. I was speaking to my friend, the chemist, yesterday, and she's been in, I think it'll be 10 years next year. 10 years next year. Ellie, it has been hard. It has been hard, it has been hard, it has been hard. But she has a mindset that she's going to make it work no matter what. No matter what, whatever she has to do, she's going to make that work because she has a deep conviction about what she is doing. If you don't have that by any means necessary, I'm going to do whatever it takes, then you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong space. This is not what God has given for you. Because this is going to be the ultimate test. What are you willing to sacrifice for? What are you willing to lose sleep for? What are you willing to put 16 hours a day for? Trust me, when you're building something, if you're willing to build properly, like the ecosystems, the pathways, you have to be ready to sacrifice. And if you are not willing, there are times where I have spent 16 hours putting something together. There is no 9 to 5. There is no 9 to 5. I eat, sleep this thing. My evenings are preparing mindset mornings. My mornings are going over mindset mornings. That is my evening and my mornings. Why? Because I have a deep conviction about what I'm doing. I'm not just coming here because I haven't got nothing to do. As Nancy would say, is their bed not warm enough? It's got nothing to do with it. It's because I have a deep conviction. And I'm willing to sacrifice. And I'm not doing it for myself. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to make a name. I'm not doing it. I'm doing it because I have a deep burden. And I've always had this burden. I've always looked at why. And especially I have a deep burden for those that are in the body of Christ. Because as far as I'm concerned, the world is supposed to come to us, not us go to the world. We've got it all backwards. If we are going to the world to get the principles that they're selling back to us, we've got it all wrong. We've got it all wrong. And so where are we getting taught how to build? We go to the world because there's no one in our space teaching us to build the way the kingdom says. So, what are you willing to sacrifice for? What are you willing to commit years to? What are you willing to keep building when nobody is applauding? When, as my daughter said, you only have 10 people on there. But I'm willing to keep building because I want to be faithful with the little. Because it is God who will bring that promotion. It was God that will bring the increase. Let me be faithful. Who God has entrusted to me, what God has entrusted to me, let me use it for his glory. Nehemiah left the comfort of the palace, of his job, of being a cupbearer, of his security. He faced opposition, because when you start rising, the arrows are going to come. If you don't have a deep conviction, my gosh, you will not be able to survive. You won't be able to survive the criticism. You won't be able to survive the judgment. You won't be able to survive. You won't be able to. I'm giving you real talk stuff. This is not fluff. It's not fluff. Because it will come. It will come. People will be thinking, who do you think you are? Oh, why does she say it like that? Why can't she speak softer? I remember somebody said that to Tiffany Montgomery. Why do you have to say it like that? It's how God has created her to be. You don't like it. You don't like it. It's fine. She's not for everybody. She's like Marmite. And we are all like Marmite. We're not for everybody. And that's how God has it. We're not for everybody. We're not for everybody. So your conviction must be stronger than your convenience. Your conviction must be stronger than your comfort. It must be stronger. So that's how you discover your why. Your why is, if it just interests you, it's not strong enough. It's what moves you. It's what you refuse to tolerate. It's what you are willing to keep building even when it costs you. The target that's on Tiffany's back. Huh? But she has a deep conviction. She has a deep conviction. I want to do where? I want to do where? I do want to. If you can stay on, then stay on. I do want to do where. If you can stay on, I want to do where. And to be honest, I'm going to do when as well. But if you have to leave, leave. Oh, just to let you know that all of the Arise and Build Challenge Mindset Mornings are being saved in YouTube. So once the challenge is over, the YouTube playlist will be open and you will get all of them. And to be fair, now thinking about it, I could have just finished all my teaching, so you would have had the full teaching anyway, irrespective if only 2 people was on. But I just thought about it just now. But yeah, they all of them will be available, so you won't miss anything. So I'll do just one more. There's still a few people on, so I'll do just one more. But if you have to leave, you have to leave. And then the when, I will definitely the when will be in the email, so you have to click the link in my bio to be able to get this teaching. So oh, too funny. I'll just do the where. The where. So we know the who. We've identified the what. You understand your why. So the next question is where. Where are you assigned to build? Where is your territory? Where is your gate? Where is your sphere of influence? And this is where we lose years. This is where we lose years, because we are trying to build everywhere instead of somewhere. We're trying to build everywhere. The world teaches expansion. The kingdom teaches assignment. The world teaches visibility. The kingdom teaches accuracy. I would rather be accurate. I don't want to waste any more time. That's why you will see me in my secret place. Why? Because I don't want to waste any more time. I want to be accurate. I really would rather spend more time with God to be accurate than be running ahead and be all over the place. The world says go bigger. The kingdom says, where are you going? Go where? You know, we can get so obsessed with scale, before we have identified territory. So, we can want a global platform, we can want an international ministry, we can want an international business, we can want this worldwide influence. But have we asked, where have I actually been assigned? Because not everybody is assigned globally. Because if everybody was assigned globally, who would then be the local? If everybody was an international ministry, who would then be local? So you got to know, where have you been assigned? Because your design is for your assignment. It's for your location, your design. Some of you may want international, but can you leave your family for extended periods of time? Are you willing to leave your family? If you can't leave your family for 1 day or for 2 days or for 5 days, how are you going to go and travel internationally and be gone for 3 weeks? So you have to ask, where have I been assigned? Because bigger is not always better. There is many businesses that have scaled and gone and crashed. Accuracy is so much better. You have more impact when you are accurately positioned in the right territory than being visible in the wrong one. So Nehemiah was not assigned to every city. He was assigned to Jerusalem. Joseph was not assigned to every nation. He was assigned to Egypt. The nations came to him in Egypt. Esther was not assigned to every kingdom. Can you imagine Esther? Yeah, we've conquered Persia. Let's go to Let's go to the next place. That was her assignment. But we have, I don't know what it is, but we have been like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. Is that where you have been assigned? Daniel was not assigned to every government. He was assigned to Babylon. Paul understood this. There were places that he wanted to go, but he was not permitted to go. There were regions he wanted to enter, but they were not assigned to him, because assignment is not determined by your preference. Assignment is determined by purpose. Just because you can go somewhere does not mean that you have been called there. Just because an opportunity exists does not mean it belongs to you. Just because a door is open does not mean it is your door. Many people can get exhausted because they are trying to build in territories they were never assigned to occupy. Where, we went through this yesterday. Where have you been assigned to occupy? So how to discover your where? Number one, identify your sphere. You'd have to watch yesterday's teaching. What is that? Day 17. Where does your assignment naturally belong? Is it in business, education, family, government, media, arts and entertainment, the church, science and technology? Don't try and fit into every sphere. Not every sphere belongs to you. Not every gate belongs to you, because there are gatekeepers. And if remember they say, if your name's not down, you're not coming in. That literally is the spiritual gates. Don't try to go into territories that you have not been assigned to. You will frustrate yourself. You will frustrate yourself, and it can be detrimental to your life going into places that you were not assigned. And you won't flourish in those places. It's like trying to grow what is something that can only be grown in the Caribbean. It's like trying to grow it here. The environment here is not conducive for that fruit to be grown here. But the strawberries can be grown here. Other things can be grown here. Again, it's assignment, it's purpose. If nature understands this, I don't know why as human beings we don't understand. So find the sphere where your who, your what, and your why, they all converge. They all naturally align. Because clarity of your sphere will create clarity of focus. Number two, identify your territory. This is where we can make assumptions. Just because somebody is international doesn't mean successful. Just because something says global doesn't mean it has impact. Just because it seems bigger doesn't mean it's better. In the kingdom, the question is not how far can I go? The question is, where have I been assigned? Are you called to your street? Are you called to your community? Are you called to your city? Are you called to London, Manchester, Birmingham, the UK, Europe, Africa, the Caribbean, the nations? Is your assignment local, regional, national, international? Is it online, offline? Is it hybrid? Every territory creates a different responsibility. Every territory creates a different demand. Every territory creates a different grace. Some people, you may only have the grace for doing online, and that's okay. And that's okay. You may not have the grace for international, and that's okay. Don't be fooled by what you are seeing. And think that you have to do that as well, and you're kind of keeping up with the Joneses. You know, so many people want an international assignment because it sounds great. It sounds so impressive. But have you considered the sacrifice? As I said, the travel. Have you got the capacity to travel? You know, have you got the capacity to spend so much time away from your family? Have you got the infrastructure that's required? Have you got the systems that's required? Have you got the leadership that's required? Not every assignment requires a passport. Some assignments just require your presence. Some assignments require proximity. Some assignments require deep roots rather than wide reach. The goal is not to have the biggest territory. The goal is to be faithful in the territory assigned to you. It sounds great. You're going to go to the nations. For me to go to the nations sounds fantastic. But I have children. And so for me to go to the nations, for me to travel, I have to have things in place. I have to make sure my business still continues. I have to make sure my children can still get to school. So there is a different grace and there is a different mindset that is required. So, number 3, identify where grace is already evident. You must pay attention. Where are doors already opening for you? Where are relationships already forming for you? Where are people already responding to you? Where is your contribution already creating value? You know, you can be asking for direction, but you're ignoring the evidence. The world teaches you to force opportunities. Kick that door open. Do this. But in the kingdom, I'm learning to have a bit more restraint. I want to be more accurate. I want to have the Issachar anointing where I know times and seasons. I know the time that I'm in my quiet season. I'm in the preparation. I'm cooking something. I'm marinating something. It's not every season that I need to be active. I need to be visible. I need to be out there doing stuff. No. You have to discern times and seasons. And that's why I wanted to talk about when. Maybe I'll do when in the morning tomorrow. Not every door belongs to you. Not every opportunity belongs to you. Not every invitation belongs to you. There are some invitations that you're going to have to decline. Why? Because now when I look at it and people want me to come and speak, it's like, is my voice for their audience? Because yeah, they may like me. They may want me to come, but is my sound, is my voice, is what I have to share going to be good for them? Good for them. And you have to discern, not every invitation belongs to you, but patterns leave clues. Favor leaves clues. Fruit leaves clues. Grace leaves clues. So pay attention to where your contribution is already producing results. Pay attention to where people are already responding. Pay attention to where your assignment is gaining traction. So I want to ask you, are you trying to build everywhere? Like identify where you have been assigned, because confusion about your territory is what will create frustration. You're not there to occupy every gate. You must identify your gate. You cannot if you must identify your territory. So when you know you're where, your strategy will become clearer, your decisions will become easier, and your blueprint becomes even stronger. Oh, the last one is when. And what I will say about when, I'm not going to go into it because time really has gone. But you have to know when. So the 5th one is when. Because the mistake, we can make costly mistakes. Why? Because we don't understand timing. We get an idea and we assume that it must be launched immediately. We get a prophecy and we assume that it must happen next month. We get a vision and we want it to come to pass today. But you will see throughout scripture, there is a gap between revelation and manifestation. There is a gap between the promise and the fulfillment. There is a gap between vision and execution. The world teaches you speed. The kingdom teaches you timing. The world says move quickly. The kingdom asks, is it time? Is it time? The world celebrates movement. The kingdom celebrates alignment. Yes, guys, I've run over time. I'm still on. I'm still on. Be honest. Say good morning.
Good morning.
So this is David Joshua. All right. I'm finishing now. There's just a few people on. I'm just finishing. Are you going to stay? You going to stay?
Yeah.
Okay. So the kingdom celebrates alignment. So we can damage our assignment when we move too early. So you see, he came like clockwork. So we can delay our assignment because we've moved too late. So you've got to discern the time. You've got to discern the time. Wisdom is knowing the difference. Wisdom is knowing the difference. And so you have to ask, what season am I in? What season am I in? So how to discover your win, and then gonna go. You know, you have to. Are you gonna go and get ready now? Go on then. Number one, how to identify your season. Not every season is building season. Some seasons are learning seasons. Some seasons are serving seasons. Some seasons are healing seasons. Some seasons are capacity building seasons. So some seasons are preparation seasons. The world, I don't know what it is, but the world despises preparation. The kingdom values preparation. Joseph's prison was preparation. David being in the field was preparation. Moses in the wilderness was preparation. You said we can get frustrated because we want the manifestation while heaven is working on our preparation. Preparation is not punishment. Preparation is proof that something greater is coming. So ask yourself, am I in a season of preparation or am I in a season of execution? Because confusion about your season is what will create frustration. I'm going to try and do this quickly. It's 8 o'clock. Number 2, identify what is being built in you before what is being built through you. So we focus on what God wants to do through us, but God is focused on what he wants to do in us. So, you know, the world will focus on all the platforms. Kingdom focuses on our capacity. The world focuses on opportunities. Kingdom focuses on preparation. The world visibility. Kingdom focuses on maturity. You know, we want influence, nothing wrong with that, but God will build our character so we can handle the influence. People want opportunity, nothing wrong with that, but God wants to build our character and our capacity so we can handle the opportunity. We want increase, nothing wrong with that, but God is building the infrastructure. So because if what is being built through you becomes greater than who you are, it could break you, it could destroy you. The weight of the assignment will crush you. That's why he has to build you first. That's why you have to discern when. What season am I in? Yes. God bless you, Sister Lillian. Yes. So what is being developed in me? What lessons am I learning? What skills am I building? What character is being formed? Because often the delay is not denial, it is development. And number 3, discern the time. Discern the time. The sons of Issachar were commended because they understood the times and the seasons, what needed to be done. Not what could be done, not what might be done, what ought to be done now. That is timing. Knowing what you are supposed to do is great. The challenge is knowing, when am I supposed to do it? When am I supposed to build this? When is it supposed to come? Not every door that's open should be entered. God says, I will open the doors that men cannot shut. But it doesn't mean that every door that's been opened is from him. Not every invitation. The world teaches urgency. The kingdom teaches discernment. Timing matters. Timing matters. So I want to leave you with this. Are you trying to force something that requires more preparation? Or are you delaying something that now requires action? Because you're either in one of the two. You're either trying to force something that requires more preparation, or you could be delaying something that requires more action. And it is wisdom to know what to do when. Wisdom is knowing when to do it. So there you have it. Those of you that stayed, but you'll get the recording anyway. So we've identified the who, the what, the why, the where, and the when. So that will help you in creating your blueprint. It is the beginning of something great. We have gone well over time, but God bless you for those of you that have stayed. I now need to go and get my children ready for school, but that's grace, because I've been up since 0:00. But it is a grace to be able to do this every day. I wouldn't advise it for everyone. You need to have a grace to be able to do these things, and to be able to do whatever God is calling you to do. There's some things that I can't do. Like those of you that can get up at 3 a.m. and start praying. I can't. That's not my grace. But God bless you. You have the grace to do whatever God is calling you to do. So don't look at anybody else. So yeah, you guys have a fantastic day, and join me tomorrow where we start building infrastructure and systems. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. God bless you.